Good morning, America. This is Maximus. I'm gonna take you with me for a little walk in this wonderful park, and I'll be talking with you about my my experience, which could also be your experience, and in some ways, of course, it is also your experience, but you have never paid as much attention to it as I have. And so, you see, of course, you have experienced, just like me, embodied language, and of course, you have experienced your happiness, your well-being, and it may not have lasted very long, but you must have experienced it. There were moments where you were feeling at ease, where you were feeling calm, or where you were feeling satisfied. And when that happened, you were happy as a clam. But like I said, these moments, they didn't last very long. And so here I'm gonna take you over this bridge here. You see? You see? We're walking together over this bridge. This bridge which goes over this lovely creek. Here, I'll show you. Isn't that nice? I mean... Oh, look at that. Isn't that great? Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I am going to let you know that you can have more of this good stuff, You can have more happiness, more satisfaction, more love, more truth, more clarity, more joy, because of how you use your language. And this may come as somewhat of a surprise to you, that how we use our language sets the stage for our happiness. And so when I talk about my embodied language, I'm talking about water flowing down a creek. I'm talking about trees that let go of their leaves in autumn. I'm talking about, maybe you can hear it, the sound of water that's rushing through the creek. And I'm just talking about a very natural process, and a process that you cannot do. I cannot do embodied language. So I am having embodied language. I know I have embodied language. It is so effortless. It is just so self-evident. But I don't do it. It just happens. And why does it happen? It happens because it can happen. So here now I'm going to show you the bamboo forest. It's a really beautiful place. And here, look at this here. Isn't that nice? This is a little bamboo forest, and here, this is the wonderful creek that you hear. In the summer, now it is autumn, and it's kind of cooled down quite a bit. But in the summer, it is bloody hot here, and it is so nice to come here and sit in the shade and put my feet in the cold water and have a little break from my job. Yeah. But anyways, I always come here every day that I have my break, and then I spend my time here in the park. Here, just look at these beautiful bamboos. Isn't that great? I love bamboo. And when I was a kid, I used to go fishing, and I used to have a fishing rod which was made of bamboo, and it was my my proud possession, you know, that I had such a fishing rod. That was when I was very small. Yeah. Good memory of having such a nice fishing rod, catching little fish in the canal back in Holland, you know, when I when I was a kid. Anyways, so I wanted to to let you know that there is a way of dealing with language which is so very, very different from how we are dealing with language. And so my way of dealing with language is totally, totally different from your way of dealing with language. And you need to hear this. You need to feel this. You need to acknowledge this. You need to, have more of an experience of this so that you can have this. Yeah. I mean, if you do not experience this, you are not going to have this. And this is not a matter of understanding what this is. This is a matter of, dissolving yourself into this. Yeah, just like when you walk in this beautiful park, you kind of dissolve into this beautiful park. That's why it's such a joy to walk here. You kind of let go of your troubles or whatever it is that you're worried about or that you're busy with, because you're just here in this beautiful park. And there's nothing else to do than to just sit here at this little picnic table here, you see. I mean, can it be more idyllic? Look at that. And you just sit here on your picnic table and you just enjoy. And there is no real need for you to claim anything or to be somebody or to, I don't know, to figure something out. Just being is enough to feel good. And so the way in which we use our language, in which our language is adjusted to being, is like nobody talks about that. People talk about being conscious. Yeah, they talk about being aware and witnessing somehow whatever it is that is in your consciousness and all that kind of stuff. But nobody talks about the kind of language, the way we deal with language. How should we deal with language so that we can just be who we are? Because being is, of course, always the same as being who you are. Yeah, being is not being something, or no. Being is just being who you are. The tree is just a tree, and the dog's just a dog, and you are just you. You know. So can you just be who you are with your language? That's a question you might want to talk about with yourself sometimes, and you might want to catch yourself having language that that kind of prevents that. And then you might say to yourself, well, why am I doing that? Well, I don't want to do that, and I don't even know why I'm doing that. And perhaps even though you do not know why you do that, once you stop doing that, you suddenly realize why you were doing that retrospectively. Because it isn't until you have actually stopped it that you realize, like, oh, I was doing that because I believed I had to be something or somebody. And I was not in any way aware that I am already somebody, or I am already somebody. I am already me. You've always been you. And you couldn't be anything else. And the fact that your language didn't fit with that has always been a problem. And I'm telling you, it's not just my own personal problem. It's your problem as well. And it's everybody's problem. Because that's just not how we use language. In language, we're always becoming something. And we're never what we are. And so the question then might occur, and I don't know, you can explore this, or you can You can just talk about it with yourself, and you do not need to believe me or take my word for it. You can just begin to say to yourself, well, how does that work? How does my language fit with who I am? And if you listen to yourself saying that out loud, not just, we say thinking that. I'm not talking about thinking. As a matter of fact, what we consider to be thinking is just the fact that we don't talk about this. So we have this whole fantasy about stuff that goes on inside of us. The mind, our thoughts in our head. But there are no thoughts in our head. There is no mind. This is all just because we do not talk about what we can talk about and what perhaps we should be talking about, what we could be talking about. But do we give ourselves the chance to do that? Do we give each other the chance to do that? I don't think so. But the question then is, do you give yourself that chance? Because even though most people don't want me to talk about that with them, I talk about it with myself, like I'm doing right now. And when you hear that, when you feel that, when you sort of explore that and let yourself know, like, oh yeah, of course, I can have language that fits with me, when there is nobody judging me, and when I'm not judging myself, and when I'm just listening to what I'm saying, and when I'm just agreeing with myself, and when I'm just sitting here in this beautiful place, just look at this, just look at this, how nice. I can just be here, I don't have to do anything. Everybody can do this. Then all of a sudden you have embodied language. And like I said before, you can hear that I have embodied language. And you can also hear when you do not have embodied language. Then your voice sounds tense, you're stressed, you're worried, you're anxious. But I'm not sounding like that at all. I'm sounding just calm. I'm sounding at ease. I'm sounding happy. I'm sounding free. I'm sounding at home. I'm at home with this lovely tree here. This tree is my friend. I'm not just kidding. Show you the roots. No, but you can talk with your environment, and you can let yourself know that you are good where you are. You are at ease where you are, and you can hear that, you can feel that, you can experience that, and there's really no need to understand anything. And that is so marvelous about embodied language, that you are just happy for no reason other than just being who you are. Now I'm standing on this. Do you see this? I'm standing. This is it. I have to be careful that I don't fall in the creek. Otherwise I come back to my work and I'm all wet. But this is just such a wonderful thing to how do you say that, to integrate into your life, that you can be who you are, and that this goodness, I once wrote a poem about this, that word goodness all of a sudden triggers that memory. I wrote a poem, it goes like this. Many years ago, before I knew anything about this, but I already wrote a poem which sort of predicted my future. It went like this. It was just a moment, it was a moment in which I experienced this, and then it was gone. But I now experience almost like a continuation of this. Although, of course, I also experience moments when it is somewhat disrupted, or there's something going on. But for the most part, I just continue with this. This is the poem. This is myself, originally me. There's nothing that I try to be. Just being is the key. This goodness, this peace that I feel, that is my nature. I know it for real. Only now I'm having the choice to scream or to sing with my voice. The only thing I like to do is to share my heart with you. Yeah. And this speaking from the heart, that's what poetry is. And so poetry was a sort of a way for me also to discover this and to find my way into embodied language. Yeah. I didn't like the disembodied language, and so I had to sort of just learn to stop myself from screaming and tell myself like, no, this is disembodied language. And you know what? This is another thing. I just recently begin to discover that, and I'm 65 years old pretty soon. I am actually a very friendly person. I'm a very happy and simple person also. I'm very easily satisfied. I don't really need much, as far as stuff that people have, I don't have a lot of stuff, but I'm happy just being me. And I'm particularly happy because I have clarity about what is embodied language and what is disembodied language. But one of the recent discoveries for me is that I'm still getting used to being such a nice person. I have of course, just like everybody else, been involved in trying to make my case, trying to argue with people and stuff like that. Look at all these leaves, it's beautiful autumn weather here in the park. This is such a great sight. Anyways, I am a nice person, and of course I have had my frustrations, and I have had my troubles, or my longings that were not fulfilled or whatever, and dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction was a big part of my life, but that all seems to have gone, and I really am that person who is not satisfied, who is happy, who is just simply walking around here feeling so good about himself. and I basically want to do nothing else than invite people to do as I do, and to come and join me, and just be here with me, and be in this wonderful embodied experience, not state of mind, but experience, because I don't believe in the mind. You see, the mind is, as far as I'm concerned, some sort of creation that we have been troubled with because we could not speak freely. And I can speak freely, so I don't consider a mind. I don't have a mind. I never have had a mind. Even though I believed I had one. And even though I believed that I was troubled by my own mind, I never did even have one. Yeah. And in that sense, I'm no different from anybody else, I mean, we all are caught up with our language in one way or another. Disembodied language is kind of like happening everywhere 24/7. And so, okay, this is it. I'm just going to have to leave it here for now. But I just want you in closing, in just at the end of this wonderful journey, this wonderful walk along the creek, this wonderful break that I had with myself in the park here. I just wanted to address one more time the tranquility. Good morning. The tranquility and the the peacefulness that can be felt if you express yourself after you express yourself. Yeah, so there's a consequence of how you talk, and that consequence can either be satisfying or not. Okay, we avoid the dissatisfying consequence by stopping our disembodied language, and we create this satisfying consequence by having embodied language. It is very simple. Yeah, you can just feel it, and it is wonderful. It is so subtle, so beautiful. It is also silence. It's pure bliss. Yeah. Now, okay, I gotta leave it here now. I look forward to talking with you. Just get in touch with me. You can reach me on Skype, or you can reach me on my blog. You just Google my name and you'll find me. You will find me, and then we talk about this, and then we have more of this together, because we can just have this together all the time. All the time. There's nothing that stops us. Nothing that stops us, and it doesn't cost anything. You don't have to do a course. You don't have to become part of some group. Yeah, we're just talking. We're just talking, and that's it. And we can have this conversation. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Bye.